not everything is measurable. And the most important things might be hidden behind what can be measured. And so you have to have beliefs and you have to have things you do quantitatively. The rule of thumb that we used when we discussed these topics 4 years ago was to say, okay, we'll go from the premise, we'll put 80% on measurable things. We'll know the return on that. Or we'll put 20% on belief. Now, the belief things doesn't mean you do things completely blind, but that means you don't go down the path of trying to put an ROI behind it because it's just not going to be true. It's not going to be meaningful. And in trying to do that, you're going to limit, if you force that as a criteria, you limit what you can do. When you build the brand, the impacts are long-term. They cannot be really A/B tested or measured in that way. You have some leading indicators that you have to also believe would lead to performance, like brand awareness, consideration, those things you can measure, and whether your brand building is driving those metrics is very important. But then trying to assign a specific dollar sign behind this, a bit tricky. And I think you just have to accept it. And I think this is where it's a philosophical view as well, how you use analytics and data. Do you think that it is a tool to make decisions, or is it a tool to help make better decisions? And if you see it as a tool to help make better decisions, you're still in charge of making the decision. And especially with analytics, because scale matters. When you're huge, you can get very precise. When you're not, it's a lot harder. We're somewhat in between now. I mean, like we're getting to a good scale, so we get some good insights. But in a lot of cases, it really is the tool to help avoid making huge mistakes, right? So you can spot the things that really don't work. But then within the realm of what works, you still have to use a little bit of intuition, belief, understanding your audience, and being flexible to adjust those beliefs.